Now with this template kit that I had, it came with a headstock with some tuner holes positions already on there, but I like to do it myself, to be honest, so and do it with the rule and work it out. I've marked it off this for now, and I've double checked it, and to be honest, in fairness, it's just about spot on. So it's just a rare occasion that I've used this and not did it off a ruler. So drill these out now to the size of the shaft, and the bushes are a couple of mil bigger, and I probably do that with a reamer. So let's move to the drill press. I just tape that little block of mahogany to the back of the headstock just to eliminate a bit of blowout. Looks alright. So the machine fit now. Nap it on. Nice. So I've routed them out now to a depth of 21 mil. Pickup, I think they're reading about 17 or 18 mil, something like that. But I'll put a little bit of high density foam underneath it, and by the time it comes up out of the cavity, that should be pretty good. That should. I haven't got to be very accurate, don't I? It'll be a few mil out, it doesn't matter. So the next thing now is to mark it out for my bridge. By doing the pickup cavities now, I can drill up through the neck cavity into the bridge pickup to run the neck pickup cables, and then from here down at an angle into the electric cavity. Now on the last build I done, anybody can make a mistake, especially me. I didn't drill to run the cables through. So what I had to do then, I had to get from here to the electrics cavity. Well, it's tricky. And what I've done in the past, and I've done it with a Les Paul when I hadn't drilled for a Les Paul, drill your input jack, or output jack, whatever, which way you want to look at it, and then drill from that hole in a straight line up through. Take your time, do not use a small drill. Don't use a drill the size of the cable, because it'll wobble and it'll shoot off. But do it with a decent size, 6 mil or something like that, and it should run through. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to do now, before I forget, is drill that hole, and then do the electric cavity, and then do the bridge, final sanding, glue the neck in then, and we're rocking and rolling. Right, so I'll see you in a bit. So I've just marked the positioning out there for the three-way switch, 2 volts, 2 tones. Now I didn't have a template for this, but I did have my template for the route. It's not as easy as that to line it all up in exactly the right position. So what I done, I took the measurements as accurately as I can where I know that my scratch plate's going to go, use that as a reference line, and the centre point and the distance from the centre of the post by here off my Les Paul Junior that I've got. So I've marked them out now. So the three-way switches are 12mm all, and the pots, the potentiometers, are 10mm. So I've gone for long shafted ones. Now I don't really need long shafted because they haven't got a carved top, but they're no more expensive really, and it means that I haven't got to do so much routing. So I've gone for these. So my next thing now, I'm going to drill through the front, come out through the back, and then I can see my positioning for my electric cavity and lay that out. Then I'll drill some pilot holes to take out most of the meat, and then we fly in them. Right, see you in a bit over the drill press. I've removed the template now. It's served its purpose. It's gone down about 20mm, and now the router bit now can follow the contour that I've already cut, and it needs to go down probably about another 10mm. So all the final sanding is completed now. All the guitar building is really finished as well. It's finishing now and assembling. I've done a test fit prior to gluing the neck up. Make sure everything's all lined up with a straight edge. It's turned out to be a real nice joint. So the next thing now, I'm going to glue the neck in, and then we need to put some sealer on here. So what I'm going to use this Dartford water-based sealer primer. It can build up quite high, this can. You can rag it on, you can sponge it on, you can brush it on, you can spray it. Whatever you want to do. I think I'm going to brush it on, to be honest though. It's going to take 2 or 3 coats, but it dries really quickly. If I spray it on, because it dries so fast, I need to clean the gun out straight away. It doesn't take 5 minutes to brush it on. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brush it on 2 or 3 coats, and that'll be enough. And now then we'll fill the grain and be the primer for the colour coat, which is going to be cherry red or an heritage cherry. And I'm going to use the Stu McDonald colour tone stains. I've never done a cherry before. I've had these stains for donkey's years. You can thin them with water or spirits, mix them into your lacquer. So anyway, I'm going to give it a go. But I got a little test piece by here, which is the back end of this guitar block. So what I've done, I've put 2 coats of the Dartford sealer primer on here. I shall spray that to see how the colours that I got, are they suitable. So that'll be the next stages. So I'm going to glue the neck in now and then put the sealer on, primer on. We'll take it from there. With all the sanding finished, which is a job I don't particularly like doing. The more you look at it, the more marks you see. So I'm going to just get the neck in now and then start sealing it up, ready for the top colour. So I'll see you in a little while. Thank you very much. That was a tight fit. Well, I've got to say that was a tight fit. I would go as far as to say that it was too tight. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was a real nice fit, but with the glue in there, it made it difficult to get in. Anyway, it's warm now. Next job, take clamps off, put the sanding sealer, primer filler on there. That's the most of all that is. Right, see you in a bit. So what I've decided now, I was going to spray it, but I'm not going to spray it, I'm going to brush it on. Because I know many of you are not going to have the facilities for doing spraying. So this is the water-based primer sealer. So I'm deciding how I'm going to brush it on. And I'll keep it for all the young builders out there. if you do use a sponge, when you apply it with a sponge, you can get bubbles. If the sponge is poor quality, the sponge brushes, so I've just got a synthetic brush for you. It's not a very expensive one. So I'm going to just quickly put it on, going across the grain. I'm not going to worry about it. It can go on quite thick actually, this finish. So like I said earlier, this dries really quick. This is drying already by you, so I can get another coat on in here in about 15 minutes. So I won't bore you with all that, and I'll do it all over again, but it's a cheap and very easy way for you to be able to do it rather than spraying it and cleaning the gun. Because when you spray it on, if you put 2 or 3 coats on, you've got to clean the gun in between. But you get the gist of it anyway, and it's great with whatever finish you want to put on it, whether it's a nitro or whether it's an acrylic or 2-pack, whatever. So give that 15 minutes now, and I'll be back and put another coat on. So with the sanding sealer, 2 coats on with the brush, and then I flattened it off, and it was pretty good, but I did 1 final coat. The sides only took 2. The neck, that only took 2 coats. So the position I'm in now is to knock it back a little tiny bit. I'm using a Scotch-Brite. Just take any small nibbles that's left on there. If you want to, you can use a bit of wet and dry. You can use it dry, of course. Put a panel wipe on it and a tack cloth, or tack cloth first and then a panel wipe before I spray it. So this is going to be a cherry red, like I said. The neck is all masked up to cover the binding and the fingerboard. So this is as much as I'm going to show you now, because it's really difficult for me to show the spraying. I'm a single man operation, and holding the camera and spraying and moving the camera the way they overspray, it's just not practical. You'll soon write the camera off doing that. So I'm going to get a couple of coats of colour on it now. I'm going to use the Stu McDonald, and I'm going to go with this cherry, the cherry red. I'll mix that in with the lacquer, and I'll see you in sometime tomorrow now when I collect all the coats on there, and then I'll start putting the clear coats on. So I've done some test pieces which I will show you. I don't know how well you can see this, but this is the block off the bottom of the guitar. So that's the cherry. So this is the cherry colour. That's 2 coats, and that's 3. This one here looks almost like an heritage cherry, and this is more traditional Gibson cherry. So that's what I decided to go for. I did this quite a few days ago, and it's surprising how soft the lacquer still is. It just takes time to... It's dry, but it's no mechanical strength in it. So be warned, if you're going to start going into spraying, don't rush it. So leave it with me now, and I'll see you sometime tomorrow, I would think, with a bit of luck, before we start doing the clear coats. That's a degreaser and a tack pot. So that's the colour coats on now. I've just flattened them off with a little bit of 800 wet and dry. There's 4 coats of lacquer gone on here with a tint in it. But the pinstriping tape done a great job of masking the binding. So the next thing to do now is to remask the fingerboard off to the edge. So when I spray the clear coats on, I'll spray over the edge of the binding end. There's a tiny little step by you. All you've got to do with that is get a little bit of 800 grit and just rub it down to take the sharp edge off it, and that'll be enough. By the time I put I don't know, 4 coats of lacquer on it, 5 coats of lacquer, top coat, it'll be done. So I'll give 2 coats of lacquer. Losing my voice here. I'll give 2 coats of lacquer on the headstock. Then I'll put my decal on, and then I'll put a couple of coats of lacquer over the top. But it's all looking pretty good. This little jig by here is electrical conduit. It's a lid for a junction box. So I use that in the neck cavity. And by doing that, then I can fit a number of different attachments to it for spraying. So I can put a bush in there and put that on there, so it's like an handle. This one is going to go like this for the moment. A long bar comes off here then, and this allows me to spray like that. I can flip it over to spray the front, but I can also turn it 360 degrees. But this is just giving me something to hold on to at the moment for when I turn the neck around, the body around. So it's back to spraying now, not my favourite job, but let's get it done out of the way. So I will get 3 coats on it today, and probably maybe the final one tomorrow. So it's back to spray booth now, and I shall catch you in a bit. It's not necessary to cut up to the frets, but I find you get less bleed when I do a double take now with the next pass. Just reduce a bit of cleaner, that's all. But this pinstriping tape don't have make a difference. So that's the last of the decals fitted to the guitar. I put an LP Special Custom by you, and then my own Michael Tarr logo by you. Now, my logos are screen printed. I had them done years ago by a guy up in Stoke. Which, they're absolutely bulletproof. They're dead easy to put on. These are for Roscoe and Frost in Gloucester. Now, they are superb decals. They're unbelievably thin. In fact, when I touch that now, I can feel my decal, so I know there's going to be a bit more build-up of lacquer to cement it all in. This one, you can't even feel it. They are very good. It's just, they're quite expensive, but they're probably the best that's been done in the UK. So the position we are now with the guitar, all the lacquering is done on the colour. So it's been flattened off to see how I'm looking, and it's down to about 1500 grit, and there's no low points in the lacquer. It's looking really good. So I'm going to leave this now for a few weeks to harden off, and then I'll carry on then taking the grits up to about 4,000. I may even go as far as 6,000 to be honest. So I'm pretty sure I got 6,000 micro mesh, and that will make the polishing stage so much easier. But it's all going fine, and then start putting it all together, put all the hardware on. So we're rocking and rolling now and getting there. So that's where we are at the moment, but I'm really pleased with it. Weight is fine. I haven't actually weighed it, but slightly thicker profile than the last Junior I made. I don't know, the people who watch my channel probably guess that I'm a big fan of making Telecasters, but these Les Paul Juniors, the single cut I done, and the TV yellow one is just a superb guitar. It's one of my favourite builds now. I love doing these. Anyway, so I'll catch you now in a little while when I'm ready to do the polishing then. Right, so it's bye for me for now. The guitar had been flattened off after the clear coat of lacquer, and I've worked my way through the grits, and the last grit I finished with is 6,000 micro mesh. I've done it in the past and I've finished it about 2,000, 2,500 wet and dry, but I don't know whether you can see that on the camera. That's really starting to shine now before you even put the polishing mop on there. So I'm going to polish the guitar now with a G10 and then a G3. Well, the other way around, sorry. A G3 and then a G10. But it's not going to take a lot of polishing now because it's looking pretty cool. And then we'll start putting it together. So I think what I'll do, I'll polish the body first. Make sure that's all okay and I'm happy with that, and I'll take the tape off into the neck, and then happy days, we'll start putting it together. So I'll see you in a bit. So that's all the polishing stages finished. I'll just go over it now with a little bit of guitar part. Let's double check, take all the tape off. Turned it well, nice job, nice. So I'm going to clean up now because it is a messy job and I don't like mess. And then we'll start putting it all together and doing the wiring. Bit of luck, it won't take very long, and also with a bit of luck I'll have it all over this because I just haven't had him on this build for a number of reasons which I'll tell you later on. Some negative people in the comments. I'll see you in a little while now. Well, this yellow tape I use, pinstriping tape. It's very thin. There's a good adhesion on there. Not as much adhesion as this frog tape, the green, but I find that the frog tape can lift the grains of the rosewood sometimes. And especially the brown tape from Stumac, that can lift the grain. But this yellow tape, which I put on the edges, I've done a brilliant job of sealing it. There's no lack of bleed whatsoever. The only bleed I've got is from the polishing. There's a bit of the moisture with the water. So that's going to be easy to clean up when I do a polish. Now, obviously now there's a little tiny sharp edge now off between the edge of the tape and the edge of the fingerboard with the lacquer finishes. So very often I'd use like a sanding stick with a bit of fine paper on and just push it away from the edge of the fingerboard in. Being really careful, but you can also do it with a bit of spirit. So what I've got here, I just got a cotton bud. Don't, whatever you do, don't get this on the lacquer because it'll dissolve it. But just to run it on the edge like that. I dipped it in and taken all the moisture off, and it goes immediately. A little sharp edge. So it's a great way of cleaning up the edge of the fingerboard. And that's it, it's gone. So just a bit of a quick clean up with some wire wool to clean the fingerboard up. I am going to have to mask it back off again just for a little while I do a final polish of the frets. The fret ends are all pretty good. So I'm happy with that now. So I'm gonna start installing the hardware. I think I'll do the easy things first. I think I'll do put the machine heads on, then the curly oak pickups. The wiring will be straightforward. As soon as I got the pickups in, of course I got to make a scratch plate. I can take a bit of a template off a previous one I done, but it is slightly, it wouldn't be a direct fit because none of my guitars are exactly the same because I make it totally by hand. It's not CNC. This pickup could easily be a mill either way, and to have a nice tight fit of the scratch plate I have to make to suit. But anyway, it's come in, so it's on with the machine heads now.